just do what you love and the money will follow is normally actually terrible money making advice. It normally is just terrible for making money. I wish, right? Because, honestly, like if you just love sitting around drinking beer, watching football, well, it's not a great way to make money. There has to be some qualifications because like your heart, what you love, your interest, your passion, your excitement, it doesn't always make money. It can be a part, and it really can be an important part of making money, but it has to fit within, like, for example, the Ikigai lesson. And Ikigai is a description of like your perfect work, which is where all these four things overlap. That which you love, okay, yeah, important, yes. That which the world needs, they don't necessarily need to watch you drinking beer and watching football, right? That which you can be paid for. Most people won't pay for that, but they may pay for, something else that you're excited about, something else that you love, that which you are good at. So that which you love, that which the world needs, that which you can be paid for, and that which you're good at. So yeah, okay, on its own, we're going to set that aside, acknowledging, just following what you're excited about, what you're interested in, trusting your gut about these things. Like, that's not necessarily great money-making advice, but it can be powerful for copywriting. And I want to share, like for your marketing messages, for your copywriting, I want to share a lesson from a billionaire that's specifically relevant, that I had this personal conversation and he told me this, and it's super relevant to this, to like trusting your gut and your excitement. And also I want to share some stories about how I've done it to get clients, to create big paydays for myself and for clients, and things that I'm excited about right now. So with that, let's dive into today's episode. These are the proven direct response marketing, copywriting, and entrepreneurship success strategies you can use today to write your own ticket and create the life you want. I am Roy Furr, and this is Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. Now, here's today's breakthrough. All right, so normally, here's where I say, today's episode, as usual, is sponsored by me. But today I'm making a rare exception. It's not quite sponsored by me. It's not quite a traditional sponsorship either. I'm taking part in this joint venture or affiliate promotion where I do earn a commission, right? So there's kind of some outside income involved, but I'm only participating in this because I believe in it as much as any of my own training. And the training is called $1 Million Google Docs. It's a new course from Ian Stanley. And you can check out the link in the description to, surprise, surprise, a Google Doc that talks about this. It's about how you can actually get more leads, customer sales, and profits using Google Docs. Like sharing Google Docs as a unique way to package your sales message. And this can be for anything from like, a free plus shipping book offer or some other free plus shipping offer, or all the way up to very high ticket services and products. And what I love about this is it fully leverages a lesson that I learned directly from Gary Bencivenga. Now, Gary was talking about direct mail, but he was saying your format is your headline. Your format is your headline. And he was referring to direct mail, but it applies just as much online. The format that you choose is usually one of the first things that your prospect recognizes about your sales message. And if the format is something different and interesting, it can get their attention in a way that is superior to other formats and that can lead to higher response. So because I believe in this so much and I'm participating in this, I'm offering a big bonus of actually exclusive training from me that supplements what you learned from Ian. I'm going to be doing extra training on the $1 Million Google Docs idea, specifically about how I'm using it, how I've created this document to sell copywriting services. And it's going to be about that, plus one more additional media. I'll share a little bit more information about that at the end of this episode, but you do have to buy through my link, and the link is in the description with this episode, by May 30th, 2022 to participate in that training. So with that, let's move on. Let's talk about this whole idea of like trusting your gut and getting rich. So I've talked about this a couple times before, but I had a chance to sit down with Bill Bonner and do an interview about copywriting. So for those of you who don't know, Bill he is the founder of Agora, and Agora is one of the biggest direct response publishers in the world. He started as a copywriter. The company started with a sales letter. And it went on and grew to over $1 billion a year in revenue across all of their companies. And Bill taught me this copywriting lesson. He said, after learning and forgetting thousands of copywriting rules and tactics and techniques, the one thing that I still try to do when I write today is I try to get myself in the mind of the prospect, and I try to identify what story, like as I'm thinking through or looking through or researching through different types of stories that might appeal to me as the prospect, what story do I get most excited about? What story am I most interested in? What story is going to be most compelling for me to read through? And then as the marketer, shifting back into the marketer perspective from the prospect perspective, saying, how can I capture the excitement in that story and tell it in a way where the natural conclusion leads to the purchase of my offer, my product, service, right? And so what Bill Bonner was doing and what he teaches the copywriters behind Agora's $1 billion in revenue to do is find the story that is compelling, that's exciting, that's interesting, that pulls you in. Find what makes you excited to write about it, to share about it, and capture that excitement and tie that to your offer, right? And so the lesson here is find what's exciting to you, find what's fun to you, find what's interesting to you, and share that with your audience. And there is an X factor to this because it's not just about the logic, it's about the emotion, it's about you sharing your excitement behind the idea with your reader, with your prospect, however they're going to consume your marketing message. And when you're excited about it, they can that excitement rubs off on them. And then that excitement is connected through to your offer. And when you can do that, when you can capture excitement in your marketing message, it has an X factor beyond just having, a good offer, a good pitch, whatever. And it makes me think of this lesson that I learned recently about having ADHD. So I was diagnosed a few years back with ADHD inattentive, which means I don't really bounce off the walls all day long, but my brain is bouncing off my internal walls of my skull. And this thing that I learned about ADHD recently, this description that just fit, is that people with ADHD, they have an interest-based nervous system, whereas people who have, more normal functioning brains have an importance-based nervous system. And so, for example, the reason that somebody with ADHD might struggle in school, whereas somebody without ADHD might not, is that person without ADHD says, well, it's important to do my homework. And so I can sit down and I can say, this is important to get done. So I'm going to get it done. And I'm going to do this first, and I'm going to do this first, this next, and I'm going to do this next because because they are important, right? Somebody with ADHD struggles to get excited about doing the thing that is important, regardless of if they know it's important or not. And instead, they just want to do what is interesting, what's exciting. And so for my entire life, I have been pulled to things that are interesting and exciting to me. And it's actually kind of a secret superpower as an entrepreneur and as a copywriter, as somebody who creates marketing messages, because if I capture my own excitement about something, it will allow me to share that excitement with you or with my prospects and whatever, message I'm working on. And oftentimes the sales messages that have been most successful when I've worked with clients have been the things that I've just been excited about for whatever reason. I get excited about the offer. I get excited about the message, and it pulls people in because of the excitement as much as anything else. And so allowing yourself to get pulled by your interests, whether you have ADHD or not, especially when it comes to this whole creating marketing messages, can be huge. So a couple personal stories around this. First, I got into marketing because I got excited. I got my degree in psychology, because I was excited about learning about psychology. And then I graduated and I was not excited with my job. I was working in the gas company in the customer service call center. So you didn't pay your bill all winter. Your service got shut off on the first warm day of spring. You would call and yell at me because somehow it was my fault. But I discovered copywriting in between calls. I was reading books, right? I discovered copywriting while I was there. And I said, okay, well, I want to get like a marketing job so I can practice this and develop this, but also have a steady income. And I basically wrote a cover letter that said, hey, my resume sucks for getting a marketing job, but I am super excited about this and I'm going to do the work that's required to be successful, not just for me, but for you, to help you be successful with the marketing that I create for you. And that excitement that was captured in that cover letter helped me get that first marketing job. And it was an incredible opportunity. If all you're doing is sending resumes, trying to get a job, man, you're missing out on something, because if you're excited, if you find a reason to be excited about getting that particular job and you convey that to the person, you convey your excitement about, I want to work with you, people are naturally pulled towards that. You are much more likely to get the interview and then get the job if you can convey your excitement. I also got my first client by being excited, my first freelance client by being excited. Because the guy, David Bullock, he was teaching this thing to Gucci marketing testing, this multivariate marketing testing. And I've long been a fan of like direct response and marketing testing. And like I realized, okay, you can use the scientific method and you can say, does this or this get a higher response rate? And we're going to try the thing, we're going to keep using the thing that gets a higher response rate. Well, David Bullock had this like completely innovative thing that came from Japanese manufacturing, this like how to test all these different variables in a high volume marketing campaign. Really compelling stuff. And I was excited about it. And so I conveyed my excitement to David about, I'm excited about you and about what you're teaching. And so I want to write for you. And so I got my first copywriting client by being excited. And it's not just that I was excited to work with him, it's that I conveyed my excitement to him in a message that I sent to him, to the point where he was like, okay, let's talk. And so I got my start in copywriting from that. And actually, the message that I wrote about David's stuff got me more copywriting clients because they could tell that I had that excitement. And I've created $1 million marketing campaigns by being excited. Like I've gotten excited about the product, about the offer, about the story, about the market trend, about the big idea. Even about getting to try new things in marketing, like new media, right? So for example, like Brian Kurtz, when he brought me the Titans of Direct Response, this was my heroes talking about marketing, talking about their biggest secrets to successful direct response marketing. Dan Kennedy, Gary Bencivenga, Ken McCarthy, Perry Marshall, Greg Rinker. Oh man, I'm gonna get in trouble because I'm gonna forget some people here. But like all of these greats of marketing were coming together because Marty Edelston had passed away and Brian Kurtz was putting on this commemorative event for in Marty's name and honor. And all these people came together because of the influence that Marty had on them. And it was just this incredible event that I was excited to talk about. I was excited to write about. And it was conveyed in the message. Like Brian was excited about it. And so Brian's excitement was conveyed in the message because I used Brian's stories and I told it in Brian's voice, right? But also there was my excitement about just learning marketing and direct response and all these people who I'd learned marketing from and how cool it was that they were all going to be in this room together. And there was excitement in that. Different promos that I've written for clients have had that. Different promos that I've written for myself have had that. This excitement that we capture, that we find this story like Bill Bonner taught. We find this story that from the prospect's perspective is exciting. And we capture that excitement, not just the logical structure of the message. We capture that excitement. We find things that excite us, that interest us. We trust our gut in that regard, and it can lead to higher response. And honestly, I just told this to somebody the other day. I'm about as excited right now about marketing and client work. I stopped doing much with the traditional financial publishers, I don't know, a couple years back, a year or so ago. And one of the big reasons that I had stopped was because I just had kind of lost that excitement. And it was hard for me to convey that excitement in my copy if I wasn't as excited about working with them. But I'm about as excited right now as I've been in years about specifically some new media formats for direct response marketing. So like the VSL was a huge innovation, and landing pages and funnels have been huge innovations in like how marketing is packaged, right? And those, going back to that Gary Bensavinga lesson, your format is your headline. How marketing is packaged can be your headline. And so these new media formats, like $1 million Google Docs from Ian Stanley, and there's this other new video format that I'm excited about, and that I'm seeing like huge numbers from the marketers who have tested and innovated into these. And, you know, I'm excited. I'm actually out pursuing new client work in that regard to do these different media formats, and I'm going to be excited to share about them going forward. And specifically, if you want to check out these, if you want to learn more about them right now, I don't have my own training about these yet, but there is this $1 million Google Docs promotion going on right now with Ian Stanley, where as I'm releasing this episode live, you have a couple days to take advantage of it. That if you check the link in the description, it describes how he's been using Google Docs for the last year and generated over $1 million in sales with that. And it works like if you're a copywriter or offer owner, affiliate marketer, whatever, right? Like if you're just trying to generate response, there's information in that document for you to figure out how Google Docs are being used to generate leads, customer sales, and profits. Plus, if you click all the way through until you see my face, you will see that I am offering that exclusive training. And I mentioned that I'm actually pursuing client work in regards to these different new media formats because I think they're fun to innovate and play with. And I'm excited about them. And I'm actually going to share what I'm putting together. I'm going to show you how to sell copywriting and marketing services for these Google Docs sales pages, plus this bonus media that's generating $50,000 a day in sales from just one funnel. Like I have to teach it in order to share my Google Doc. I'm gonna share how to sell copywriting and marketing services using a Google Doc, and so it'll be a nice addition to Ian's more general training about how to use Google Docs to generate a ton of sales and profits. And so that is an exclusive offer that is it's only available if you click my referral link, which is in the document in the description with this episode. All right, so I encourage you to check that out. At the very least, you might want to investigate how Ian is using a Google Docs sales page and see if you can pick up some of his secrets just by observing. So I'm Roy Furr. This is Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. This episode is honestly full of so many breakthroughs if you have been listening closely. And I hope you check out the links in the description. Every day in every episode, I'm here looking to help you increase your marketing genius through all sorts of innovative ways, including following your excitement, even when that includes following your excitement into new media formats. And if you do that, you might look like a marketing genius. All right, so with that, I will catch you again in the next episode. I appreciate you, and I will see you soon. Thank you once again for tuning in to this daily episode of Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. Remember, check out the links with this episode for even more value. Now make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and engage in every way you can to keep this show going and growing and delivering daily value to you. I'll catch you soon for your next big breakthrough.